Well, hey everybody, Martika here with Martika J Makes, and today I am going to be sharing with you some of my most used sewing tools. So if you are new to the channel or if you are coming back, welcome, and definitely stay tuned all the way to the end of the video. If you like what you see and you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But everybody, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. It definitely helps my channel. So let's get started. So the first tool I'm going to show you that is my most used, and probably yours too, is my seam ripper. Okay. This seam ripper, I tell you, it gets a lot of use. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because of the shape of it. It's an ergonomic seam ripper, so it fits in my hand a lot differently than those little slender seam rippers do. Those actually hurt my hand after a while. It kind of strains it. But this right here fits into the palm of your hand, and it's like a silicone, so it's really easy to grip, and it's easy. It makes it so much easier to get underneath those threads and pull them out. And even if it's a long seam, I don't have a problem with it because of the make of this. Now, I did pick this up at Hobby Lobby. I am not paid by them, but I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. If you want to go and grab you an ergonomic seam ripper, they are definitely worth having, especially if you use it a lot like I do. It comes with a little cap and you just store it and go. So that is the first one. The second one I use a lot is kind of a given, but let me tell you guys what I like to use this for, and that is my tape measure. You guys, I use this quite a bit, not just for measurements on my own body, but for measurements on my patterns. So if I have a pattern that doesn't have any finished measurements on it, then I will take my measuring tape, because it's one that I can kind of maneuver around very easily. Now, you can use just a straight ruler too, but I can maneuver this around a lot easier with my patterns and kind of figure out what that finished measurement might be and if it's going to work for me. So my tape measure is another one that I use quite often. Another measuring tool actually that I use quite often is my clear ruler. This is an 18-inch ruler. I'm gonna be honest with you and tell you that I cannot remember where I got this from. I could have ordered it online. I don't know, but you can find these everywhere. But this is so worth having, you guys, not only just to do your measurements, but the fact that it is clear. Okay, it's clear. I can see my measurements. I can see my fabric through the actual ruler itself. And that helps a lot, especially if I'm measuring the edge of something. It helps me to be precise and make sure everything is straight underneath. And I just love this ruler. Not only that, it's very flexible also. So it gets a ton of use when I'm sewing. So yeah, that clear ruler is amazing to have. Another measuring tool, I probably should have just named this video my most used measuring tools, but this is a hot hem ruler. You guys, if you know me, you have heard me say before, hemming is not my favorite part of sewing. I have had projects sit for days just waiting on a hem. Okay. That's how much I don't like hemming. Okay. But a lot of that has to do with having to measure up that hem. But this hot hem ruler has made life so much easier. It's made with the material. I don't know the name of the material, but it's made with the material that can actually withstand heat. Okay. So basically what I do is I put my fabric down, and then with the measurements here, I fold my fabric up to where I need the hem to be, and I can iron right on top of the hem itself. And I mean on the ruler itself. And I'm telling you, this is a game changer right here. Now, the next one that I have is it's a seam guide, the seam guide ruler. I picked this up from Madam Sews. You guys, I saw this before and I was like, oh, I kind of need one of them. And then I didn't think I needed one until I needed one. This is amazing to have in your stash, you guys. What this does is wherever your needle is sitting and you have to change the seam allowance, the measurement of it, and then you have to figure out on your plate which one is which, and some of them are not numbered. You may not even have that seam allowance on your sewing plate. But if you look here, you will see, let me turn this around so it's not backwards to you. You will see that this have all of the measurements that you need, and they have little holes in them. Okay. And basically what you do is you put your needle, you put this down on your plate under your presser foot, and you find your measurement that you need, and then you make sure that your needle can go through the hole. Wherever that is, you can then take your magnetic seam guide right here, and you can line it up right against that plate. And therefore you can get you perfect measurement of whatever measurement that seam allowance should be. After you get your magnetic seam guide down, then you move this out of the way, keep this where it is, and you go ahead and sew and use this as your guide. Game changer. I love it. I do use it very often, especially on nights when I'm kind of tired and don't feel like keeping my eye on that line. This little magnetic seam guide really helps with that. So you can also purchase these by themselves too. Now, the next one that I have is, it's common, but I wanted to show you anyway, because this is something that I had to get used to using. At first, when I first tried it, I was like, no, I can't get this. I'm not used to it. But the more I practice with it, as they say, practice makes perfect. I say practice makes better. Okay. It makes it much better. A rotary cutter. And if you guys have used one and you're like, forget it, I will use my scissors. Believe me, I have been there. But now that I have practiced, I use this. This is pretty much what I use to cut my fabric with nowadays, guys. Okay. And I have different sizes of the wheel, because sometimes I'm cutting through a really thick fabric. Sometimes it's a thinner fabric or whatever have you. And you need different levels of the blade to be able to get through certain fabrics. So the reason why I'm showing you these two is just like scissors. I have my rotary cutters that I cut only fabric with, and then I have my rotary cutter that I cut paper with. So this is also a speedy way of cutting out your patterns, is using a rotary cutter. But make sure that you have one just for paper, because you don't want to be using this on paper and then turn around and try to use it on fabric. Just like the same as scissors, you guys, they're both blades. You want to be very careful with them. Mark them in any way that you have to know what is what. But once you get used to using the rotary cutter, you find that you don't mind cutting out those patterns. You don't mind cutting out that fabric, because it makes it so much faster. Now, some fabrics you do still need to use your scissors with, and I do sometimes. But for the most part, these are my cutting tools right here. And along with that, and last but not least, you will love it when you have the right cutting board to cut on, and you're not cutting through things like your dining room table or whatever have you. Okay. So this is my smaller cutting mat. Okay. I have two different size mats. I have my large one, and then I have my smaller cutting mat. And having mats in different sizes really does help. I actually am going to get one that's smaller than this. And then if I can find one that's in between this size and my largest size, I'm going to get that too. Because when you work on different projects, you don't always want to pull out the largest one, especially when it's not necessary. It's really a lot more space than what you need. Or you may have this, a lot of times the length of it have been great, but the width of it, was just not wide enough to do my projects on. So having different sizes and things like this really does help you get your projects done faster, get them done easier. But it definitely helps you to have the right tools that you need to get them done right. So of course, as all cutting mats, it comes with two sides. Yeah. And I mean, you can get your cutting mats really from any craft store. You can get them from Joann's. You can get them from Hobby Lobby. What I do like about Hobby Lobby, that's where I got my cutting mats from. And no, I'm not paid by them either, but I do like to just share good information. Every other week, they have a sale on Sewology and cutting tools like rotary cutters, scissors, cutting mats, elastic, and things like that. Every other Sunday and every other week. Okay, that the sale starts on a Sunday, although they're closed on Sundays, but every other week. And you can get the mats at half off, you guys. And that is how I get my mats. All right. Very seldom do I pay full price for anything. If I can get it on sale, that's what I do, okay? And that's what I encourage you to do also, because what we're trying to do while sewing for ourselves is save money at the same time. So those are just a few of my tools that I wanted to share with you that's outside of the norm, like your thread and things like that, needles and stuff like that. Some different things that I wanted to share with you guys. For those of you who have not seen these items before, this video is for you. And hopefully you'll pick up some things for yourself and see how you like it. Let me know in the comments if you use any of these items and how they work for you. And that's all that I have for you today. So have a great one, you guys. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.